Cardi B is on the hot seat because her label is threatening to drop her because she is not making them money. It's been 5 years since Cardi dropped an album, and the label is tired of not making money from her, and in fact, reports say that the label is actually losing money on her. Cardi is not having the disrespect, and she is dragging her label for being greedy and only money focused. Talk about a mess. Cardi is not the only one fighting back, because Chloe Bailey is also clapping back at trolls who are dragging her because her album was a big flop. Cardi B is going downhill pretty fast because she is starting to lose her popularity. Before y'all come for me and say I'm a hater, I'm just reporting based on what the streets have been saying. Okay, so Cardi headlined the first day of Rolling Loud Festival in Thailand, and everyone thought that her performance was going to be a hit and attract tons of audience because, well, she's Cardi. And we gotta admit that she usually nails her performances because she puts on a good show, and she even bragged about the attendance being about 35,000 people. But the reality was different because the concert goers did not look like they were enjoying her performance. To be fair, the crowd did look like they were enjoying her performance at first. But then everything changed for some reason, and it started to look like people kind of stopped feeling her performance. In fact, they looked quite bored, like they couldn't wait for her to finish her set and leave the stage. Honestly, it seemed like they didn't know any of her songs from her album except the ones that were hits. Now, people did try to defend Cardi and say that the crowd didn't speak English and probably didn't understand her, but Lil Uzi Vert performed right after Cardi and he had the whole place turned up.
I don't really care if you cry. I don't really should have never lied. Should have saw the way she looked me in my eyes. She said, baby, I am not afraid of dying. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. Push me to the edge. That's our match. It's an off-white, baby.
So people are convinced that Cardi might be experiencing a loss of fame and relevancy, and the streets are saying that it's largely due to the fact that she still doesn't have a second album out yet. It's been 5 years since she dropped Invasion of Privacy, and her last single, Hot-ish, was a flop, to be honest. Like, it didn't make any noise. To be fair, she did well in a lot of features like Tomorrow 2, and many critics even referred to it as one of the best rap verses of 2022. But then that doesn't matter to her label because rumor has it that they're not making a lot of money from Cardi because she isn't really dropping new music apart from the features. Apart from the whole album issue, there's also the fact that she has never gone on tour, which is one big way that labels make their money back from artists. She was supposed to go on tour after Invasion of Privacy, but had to cancel it because she was pregnant with her daughter, Culture. She has even admitted to feeling anxious about dropping an album.
And I do have anxiety. I've been having a lot of anxiety because I know right after I drop my album, I have to go on tour, and I have like bad separation anxiety from my kids. Making music to me has become like a job that gives me anxiety.
Unfortunately, the label does not agree with this because there have been rumors of her being dropped by her label because she's not making them much money. Well, at least not as much as they are putting into her. Cardi is a big artist, and what this means is that the label has to put a lot of money into her. I'm talking video shoots, promotion, radio, and all that. It's a whole lot of money, and if she doesn't drop another album pretty soon, well, that is just trouble for her. In fact, insiders have claimed that the only reason she hasn't gotten dropped yet is that the label knows that they are going to make money from her when she eventually drops her album and goes on tour. They have high faith in her, but then the faith is running out because they need to make their money back and fast. She can no longer stall for much longer, or she's going to get dropped like a hot potato. And according to insiders, Cardi is beyond pissed that the label is giving her an ultimatum. She knows that she is making the label money even without having another album because she is always booked and busy. She has a lot of gigs, performances, and appearances, so she doesn't think it's right for the label to make her feel like she's not doing anything. Another insider added that Cardi feels confident that even if she gets dropped, she's easily going to get another label because she is a profitable and bankable artist, regardless of what her current label feels. Someone said, "I'm pretty sure Cardi B was never that passionate about making music in the first place. It was more of a money grab for her, and she just lucked up and happened to achieve mainstream success. Correct me if I'm wrong." Another person said, "Cardi has reached that point that her music can't overshadow all the drama, and the executives are somewhat stepping back and waiting to see if she is really still worth it." It's honestly a hot mess, but at least Cardi says she's dropping music this year, so we're going to cross our fingers and hope that she keeps her word this time around. And speaking of messes, I think we all need to talk about the mess that Chloe Bailey is currently going through after she released her album In Pieces. It was her debut solo album, and while she kind of had people hyped about the album, it kind of flopped because it only sold 10,000 units in the first week. Now, I know that Chloe is still a relatively new artist on the scene, but people had high hopes for her because she gets talked about a lot on social media. Also, let's not forget that she is also backed by Beyonce, so the low sales were kind of disappointing. When the first week's sales came in, people immediately started blaming Beyonce for the album's flop. People claimed that Beyonce didn't do enough to promote the album, since Chloe is signed to her Parkwood Entertainment Management Company. There's also the fact that Chloe once claimed that Beyonce asked her to release a song when her own fans requested another song. Chloe set up a poll on Twitter to ask if her fans wanted her to release For the Night or Surprise. She set up a poll on Twitter to hear what people had to say, and most people said that they wanted her to release For the Night. But then she revealed that Beyonce has insisted that she release Surprise instead.
I know what y'all picked about the polls, but when the queen speaks, and that's all I'm gonna say, and that's all that matters to me.
So Chloe was releasing music for Beyonce instead of her fans, and at the end of the day, well, her album didn't do so well. So Beyonce got dragged and Chloe got clowned big time. It was just embarrassing for everyone involved. There were so many mean comments saying stuff like, "All that promo, collaboration with an abuser for media presence, and still failed to even reach top 100. The album is mediocre. She wants to be a Beyonce 2.0 but failed. And girl, you should be worried. The music industry is just that, an industry. And when you stop generating money, they will drop your butt. Far more talented and successful artists have lost deals than you because they failed to attract and maintain an audience that will buy the product." But then Chloe's sister Holly decided that she had had enough of people talking bad about her big sister, and she defended Chloe on Twitter. One thing about Holly is that she is always going to stand up for her sister and drag the haters, and this time was no different. She said, "I'm going to say this once. I don't stand for bullying of any kind on this app of anyone. Those who I don't know, and especially of those who I love with my whole heart. I think sometimes people forget that even though we live public lives, we are human and have souls. Everyone who knows me knows I go to war for the ones I love, and I've kept it cute on this app for a while. So just reminding y'all to please keep it cute too." Chloe also defended herself from the hate, saying, "In Pieces was about letting go and trusting myself. I've enjoyed every moment of it, and I love everyone who listened to it. Tour starts tomorrow in Chicago, and I'm ready to perform these songs for y'all." She also posted this picture and captioned it, "I'm so tired of the BS." She then retweeted this tweet and said, "People gonna feel how they feel about her, but this girl is hungry for it, and she will go so far with that and all her talent." And she posted this picture of her hugging a picture of herself and said, "You should love yourself this much." I think it's great that Chloe is standing her ground and not letting herself get bullied, because she's still an upcoming artist, and very few artists do well on their first album anyway. She's talented and all that, but she does have to buckle up and do better on her next album, because she can't afford for things to be this messy when she releases her second album. Oh, and speaking of messy, y'all are gonna lose your minds over the drama in this next video.